Welcome to Guerrilla Discipleship. I'm your host, Kevin Baker. I am joined by two wonderful people, Phil and Sarah Formicelli. They are amazing people. You're going to get to know them. This is a little bit of a heavier discipleship conversation, and it does discuss some very significant topics. Suicide is going to come up in this, so this might not be the episode that you want your kids to be around listening to. You might want to make sure that you're able to listen to this without young ears, but I think you're going to want to hear this amazing story. So just wanted to be upfront about that. But I'm glad that you're here. Guerrilla Discipleship is all about sharing real life stories about how God rescues us and loves us, to be folks who can help other people fall in love with Jesus, to understand who he is, to ignite in our own hearts a wonderful experience of walking with this God who loves us. Phil and Sarah are here, and Phil is celebrating a important 10-year anniversary. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about it, but it's an anniversary of not only him coming to know Christ, but of some important changes that were being made in Phil's life and the way that God navigated him through some dark times. Sarah has been and continues to be his amazing partner in life, and so we're just going to have a conversation because, first of all, I love these people, and they have a great story to tell. That terror, I love the way you said that. That terrified feeling of abandonment is what you just can't even. It's so existential. It's so terrifying that I just got to medicate it. I got to keep it down. Now, so here it is, all these years, you've been alive, medicating, for a long time. You don't have any medication, and you've even got people inviting you to think and feel about stuff that you hadn't thought about or ever felt. So it's a pain. It's a painful process, an exhausting process.
It was the toughest month that I could imagine anybody going through.
But now God's got his arm on you. He's got his arm around you, and you don't feel alone. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm not 100% healed with, abandonment issues,
Of course.
I don't think. But I'm nowhere where I was. I'm nowhere near the man I was before, not even close.
But I'm saying even in rehab, God gives you this vision. I'm with you. You're not alone.
Oh, 100%.
I'm with you, and we can get through this.
Yes.
And so you're
That's
going,
the anchor I had.
I was just going to say, you're going through a painful process, but instead of drugs and alcohol, you've got the person of Jesus walking with you.
Absolutely.
All right, can we take a break? I'm giving you the microphone. You already knew the Lord, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is God doing for you while all of this chaos is going on? And I'm sure you must have felt out of control.
I felt out of control, but I was glad that I was connected in Oakdale. I had my Moments for Moms group. Those ladies helped me through so much. I have tons of friends, but it was tough. A lot of our friends were really upset with Phil.
How could they not be?
Right.
With Phil?
Well, he didn't just lie to me. He lied to them in all types of stories. So.
And your kids know? Did they at the time know Dad's in rehab?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Three older ones.
3 older did. The younger one wouldn't have known.
3.
Yeah. And did they know about the affair at that time?
Just the oldest.
The oldest.
Mm-hmm.
So you're managing your own feelings of betrayal, your daughter's feelings of betrayal, your daughter's fear about, is Daddy going to be okay? And that's all on your shoulders.
Yeah. I was seeing a counselor at the time who was trying to give me some advice. I steered away from secular counselors for specific reasons.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But to go back to Haley and Phil, that night that Phil was going to kill himself, he told Haley that.
Mm. So that's
and she looked right in his eyes and said that he said, I'm leaving. And she said, you can't. And he said, you don't understand. I cheated on your mom And I was like, wow, it's the one thing the counselor said, not to tell the kids.
Right.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah.
And then Haley said, it doesn't matter what you've done.
Wow.
We love you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that an amazing thing? The love of a child, love of our kids.
I mean, God definitely used her in that moment.
The way all this has played out over the years is just, it's unbelievable.
You know,
It's unbelievable.
I can't thank you guys enough for your willingness to just talk this openly about this. I see it in your eyes. I know this is a hard thing, but I know that God has used, and will continue to use your story. That's why we're not here to celebrate pain or drinking. We're here to celebrate that God, 10 years later, has given you probably a more full life than you could have ever imagined back in day one when you were sitting there thinking, my life is over and I'll never get through this.
My wildest dreams didn't think I'd be sitting here
Yeah.
when I was in there.
Yeah.
Not even close. Not even
So
close.
Sarah, how did you, I'm just going to be honest with you about this. I feel like we could have done so much of a better job as a church family, wrapping our arms around you guys. How did you manage through this? How was God helping you day by day?
I mean, when Phil moved out, the first thing I did was call the church, and you guys got right on the phone and prayed with me, and that was amazing. I've always felt like this was the church family. Like I had people
Good.
there for me.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, God has you. It was just repeated over and over again. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he does. And he did.
And he did. He did. Yeah. He gave me more grace than I could ever imagine. It was not.
No question. I mean, you guys have been just a blessing like you wouldn't believe to our family from the whole way. The whole way through. You baptized me when I got out of rehab.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things I did when I got out of rehab. This church has just been a godsend.
Well, and I wasn't trying to make it about that. I feel like we could have done such a better job of that. It's hard to know how to walk into a family that's in chaos and pain, and you're trying to figure out how to honor boundaries, but you want to be available for families. But so all of that's just complicated. So Phil, you get out of rehab, and where did you go? Did you go home?
No.
Where did you go?
I went to my parents' house.
Okay.
My mom, my stepfather.
So your mom and dad were.
I wanted to go home.
And you, yeah.
And I had called Kevin Baker and asked him if he could find a place for Phil. And Kevin was like, I'm really sorry, Sarah, I can't. And I was like, wait, what? You guys are you're supposed to help me. And he was like, I can't. Phil's going to have to do this on his own. If he wants to do this, he's going to have to do it on his own. Well, that was really hard to sit with, but you were absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's true, because if somebody doesn't want help,
Yeah.
you can't keep enabling them.
But it's a hard line. It feels unloving at times.
Sure did.
I'm sure that you felt like, it felt unloving toward you. And then you probably felt at times that, man, Sarah, help me here. And she's like, you got to do some of this.
During that period, because I was seeing everything so differently now, when I was not living at home, when I got out of rehab, and I was really doing a lot of work on myself. The first day I got out of rehab, Kevin Lee, who's one of our members here, one of my brothers, called me and invited me to First and 10. It's the first Bible study I ever attended.
Wow.
And to this day, I miss that. And I know we're doing other things now, but so between that and I was going to meetings and, meeting people at meetings and then going to psychiatrists, I was doing a lot of work on myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still trying to save my family as well. So I'm working.
You're living at parents.
I'm living at my parents.
You're going to all the meetings.
I'm doing all the meetings.
You're back to work?
I'm going work myself. I'm back at work.
Okay.
Full time there. So, I mean, I would go to my parents' house to sleep, and then I'd be up early in the morning trying to go help at the house if I could, take the kids to school, do whatever. She didn't want to see me, obviously, and it was a hard time. It was a very hard time.
What was the changing point for you, Sarah, that you were willing to say, I'm willing to even talk with you about the possibility of reconciliation? Was there a moment, an action that he took, or did God just say, Sarah, I think you should give him another chance? How did that work? I want to make sure.
It took a really long time. I mean, we came to you asking if you could even dissolve our marriage, just so we could start again. I mean, I don't know if I remember the exact moment of it, but Phil, I mean, he was in it. He wrote letters nonstop. He showed up every single day, even though I did not want him to get help with the kids. And just in the back of my mind, I was like, this isn't going to last. Yeah. Like, he's just trying to prove something.
Yeah.
But he just kept showing up.
Mm. I love that.
I'm not leaving.
I love that. I love that. Phil just kept showing up. And I remember we asked you, I don't remember what year it was, but we asked if you would give your testimony at one of we had a larger men's gathering.
Yeah, the men's group.
And I always remember you saying, all the people telling you that you had a problem with alcohol, and you kept saying, alcohol's not my problem, alcohol's my solution.
That's right. Drugs and alcohol weren't my problem. They were my solution.
Problem. Right, right.
And that's my problem.
And here's the case. The reality is the pain that you had, the abandonment pieces and the trauma and all of that was the problem, but now alcohol became the problem on top of the problem.
Correct.
Alcohol and drugs on top of that. So how did you get through those first months or years where you're trying to win your wife's heart back? You're trying to show her that you're reliable, that you're a new man. How did what was giving you a lot of strength during that time?
Obviously, Jesus was a big part, and I didn't have that before. And there was no way I was letting myself get back to the person that I was, back to that position.
Did you have any temptation to go back to drinking and drugging?
I know what I could have lost.
So now you're in a place of, if I take that first drink, it's all gone, and I don't want to lose this. Is that what you mean?
No. I mean, I don't have the urge to drink anymore. Okay. I don't have the desire. I don't, I'm around people who drink and everything, and it's really not a problem. I don't like going to places if it's nothing but drinking.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to just because, some of the circles we're in or whatever, but it's my problem. It's nobody else's problem, So I can't expect for people to change their life because of my problem.
One of the things I've really always admired about you guys, and I'm sort of switching gears here a little bit, but and if this is too personal, then you all just don't chat about it. But there were some financial ramifications of all of this for you.
Oh yeah, we had to sell our house.
Right.
Ended up renting a house to find out what we wanted to do. I went to a David Ramsey class, got back on track. We were able to buy a beautiful home now. And
yeah, but I mean, a lot of people in our culture, in our community, wouldn't take the time and the sacrifice that you made. I mean, you, like you said, you had to sell your house. You rented a house for a while. You did that because I remember you guys had kind of gotten to the place financially where it's like we.
That was part of it. We were still able to pay for our home and stuff, but a big part of it was I think we wanted a fresh start.
We were living outside of our means.
Oh, no, absolutely we were doing that. No, absolutely we were doing that.
The vacations, the parties.
Yeah, we never budgeted and stuff. I mean, it was tight, but.
Yeah, I would imagine, I don't know what percentage, but there's a percentage of people that maybe are even listening and that I know live in this context, in this community, that live beyond their means. I mean, you look at the research, they talk about how low retirement accounts are for people that we're living at the extreme measure of how far out we can stretch our money, and rather than saying, okay, I'm gonna honor God with some money, I'm gonna honor savings, I'm gonna think about putting those things away. We don't live within our means, and we're in competition because everybody else is not living within their means, and we feel like we're falling behind. So I love that. You guys said we're gonna start living within our means. We're gonna do this differently, even if it means we have to sell our house. I like that you had that also, the idea of we're going to start over. And I really do think, and I don't know if we said this at the time, Sarah, I can't remember, but I know I've said this to other couples, that sometimes you do just have to have a funeral for the old life. Hey, that other life, that other marriage, we We had a service of a funeral for that because God's given us something completely new.
Yeah.
And what you all have today, I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure that you have struggles like every other person in the world does. But this is a really new, beautiful life that you guys have.
It's nothing like it used to be.
Tell me a little bit about your dad.
So I never really had a relationship. I didn't have a relationship with my biological father growing up after, I was real little. But when I got out, one of the things that I had done, and Sarah helped me with this as well, was reach out to him. We ended up going to visit him, and Sarah and all the girls came with me, and we started a relationship. And then we started talking on the phone more, and we got to see each other a few times, and then he got sick to where he needed a kidney transplant. And so here's my head. I just now get in a relationship, and now I'm going to lose him. But he was around for a few years. I got to have a pretty good relationship with him. Got to know him. He got to know me. Got to know Sarah and the girls. Good man. And he did it, eventually end up dying. And
he did not get a kidney transplant?
He got a kidney transplant, but it ended up failing down the road.
He got a kidney transplant the night before your baptism.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And another part of my story is my older sister and I, unfortunately, don't have a relationship. And she was very close with him. And the only way how I found out he had passed is I had read it on Facebook one day. And then obviously he didn't answer his phone. And that's where I found that out. So that was tough, I still really haven't had closure on that because I never got to say goodbye to him.
Sure.
But it was good to get to know him for the time I did, which I wouldn't have had I not been sober.
Had you not sobered up? Right. We've been talking here, and we've got more to say. So would you just, I'm glad you're here. Come back next week. We're going to continue to talk some more. Sarah and Phil are just so open. They are so loving, so willing to share their story, and God is using them and blessing others through them. So I want to thank you for being a part of Guerrilla Discipleship. Again, I want to just say that this is probably a more serious and heavy couple of conversations than maybe what we normally talk to, but it's so helpful to celebrate on the other side of a lot of pain what God can do. So just be sensitive to who's listening with you, but thanks for being a part of Guerrilla Discipleship, and we'll see you again next time.